Welcome.
Story.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the author interview series. My name is Nicolette Halliday, and I'm excited to have two back-to-back interviews today with Larissa Soehn joining me today to talk about the book, the work she's doing in the world, and shine a bright light on writing and publishing. Welcome, Larissa.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. It's so great to have you. So Larissa is a well-established author. She is the founder of Next Page Wellness Coaching. She has extensive experience in writing, publishing, marketing books from various genres, and she is the company's founder. Larissa serves female entrepreneurs in client-based industries, coaches, and service providers. She's on a mission to help powerful women boost their business through books. Mm-hmm. Hi, Larissa. So great to have lots to unpack there. So great. So we were talking a little bit earlier. Oops. Sorry, I lost us. Uh-oh. Just 1 second. Sorry. So we were talking earlier about Larissa's in Canada, and that's one of the beautiful things about this book collaboration is we are pulling in entrepreneurs from all over the globe, right? So excited to have Canada represented. I think you're our only contributor from Canada so far. So what was your first what was your inkling on start? What made you decide you wanted to join this book collaboration?
Yeah, so I've been a part of another collaboration that hasn't hit the shelves yet. So that one's coming out, and I loved the experience of connecting with other authors. And when I saw this one, the Get Published book come out, it was so well aligned with my niche and the message I wanted to spread that I just, couldn't miss out on the opportunity to mix my message with other people from the industry.
Absolutely. It's so incredible. And it is really such a specific book, right? Targeted to those who really want to understand and take advantage of all the opportunities in publishing. And the network is incredible. We are so excited about that piece as well. So tell us a little bit about the work that you do specifically and kind of what brought you into this work.
Yeah, so specifically, as you heard in my bio, I help entrepreneurs write books to boost their business. That's my tagline. That's my motto. That's what I work off of. How I got into this industry was I started creatively writing a couple of years ago, and I wrote a science fiction book. And then I went through the process of editing, marketing, publishing, all of the fun stuff that goes into it. And I just opened this floodgates to passion and desire and want and need. And it was so profound for me to go through the experience. I knew that, I was born to help others do it too. And so my niche is definitely different. It's evolved over time where I'm helping entrepreneurs with the books to boost their business. I didn't start out that way. I started in science fiction. So what I love about my cross-genre approach is that I've been there, done it. I've done science fiction. I've done children's books. I'm in the middle of publishing my next how-to book, which is specific to my niche. And I really have this cross experience that applies and just gives you such a rounded wealth of knowledge. And so I really knew there was a place in the market for a book coach. And I knew that I was destined to do it. I knew I had the skills, the experience, and the drive to do it.
I love it. And when you were talking about kind of what brought you into it and connecting to that passion, I felt so anchored into what you were sharing about I need to help. I need to share this with other people. What a magnet to you, right? I love that so much. It's incredible. So and obviously, your work is evolving, and you're, leaning into kind of like, oh, I really like this piece. Let me experience this a little bit. But in your experience, what makes your process unique or different? What is that thing that kind of helps you stand out?
I'm very hands-on. And
Mm.
so I specialize in helping people come up with their outline. And so we do that one-on-one, we do that together. And then we do specialized feedback. So as they're writing, they're sending me their work and I'm going through it and I'm providing feedback. So it's not like you wait till the end to submit your work. You're getting it as you're going. And so instead of that second revision feeling so overwhelming when you finally get there and you have all these edits to make, and you've been making the same mistakes throughout your manuscript, you learn very early on what to do and what not to do so that your whole book isn't made under the same errors, I would say. So I'm very hands-on. Every project that comes through my door gets my eyes on it, gets my take on it, gets my experience applied to it. Of course, it's all 100% their work. They do it, they own it and things like that, but they get the knowledge of someone else who's been there and knows what it takes to make a good book. So very, very hands-on. And then I also offer support in the editing, marketing, and publishing world as well. So it goes well beyond just writing your book. And I think a lot of want-to-be authors miss those components, that your book is so much more than just writing. Yes, that's a huge part of it. But when it comes to the editing piece, marketing, and publishing, so that's three completely separate worlds from writing. And so my program really walks people through all the aspects from word one to published.
Wow. It's really like one-stop shop, right? You really walk with your authors through that whole process, which is so valuable. And I love how you shared that you really get in front of them as you're working through the manuscript together, so that it's not like, oh, here's all the things you did wrong. Let's really improve the process as you go. I think that's incredible. One of the things, the visions that I have for this book and really bringing the contributors together is to open people's eyes to the reality that working with someone like you, who first of all, really values the experience of writing, marketing, publishing the book, understands the experience because you've been through it, but also values it not just as a book is a vehicle to get, to get in front of a bigger audience or to get your mission, but the experience of going through, of writing about your story or your message, and really working with someone is such a more intimate way of working through this process, right?
Yeah.
I think I've heard a lot of people say writing is such a lonely process, but it sounds like you're really partnering with them to make this a partnership as they're bringing this book to the world, because there's so many things that people will bump up against, right, in this process. What are some of the things that you find your clients kind of bump up against as they're working through writing, publishing, marketing their book?
Yeah, the very first roadblock and what stops people from even trying to write a book is that they don't know what to write about. And it's so surprising. They're so surprised to find out that they have, 80% of their content already ready, especially with the people that I'm working with, the entrepreneurs who are, they're framing their books off of their businesses. You have the content ready. You just need to embellish on it. And I think that really surprises them, is like, we spend an hour and a half outlining their book, and they come in so overwhelmed because they have no idea what they're going to say and how they're going to say it. And it's like, well, the number one thing we do is, well, what are your programs? What do you do in your programs? Let's just take those and dissect them. And every module in your program is a chapter. That's like a really fast and dirty giveaway secret of like, you have the book right there for you. You just got to put it down on paper. And then the other thing is mindset. Mindset is huge, right? So they come in, they're overwhelmed. We get over that first hump, and then they get into writing. And in my program, it's a writing sprint. So you write for 3 to 4 weeks until your book is done.
Wow.
And so it's fast.
I love it. I think it's so, I've heard people say they take, like, some of the times I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds miserable. Just show up. Let's get it done. I love that you really are capitalizing on speed to market as kind of a push and an instigator to really move through it.
Yeah, like I only work with people that really want a book, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to be motivated if you're going to go in through this program, because you will get results. You just have to be putting in the
get ready to show up, and we're going to go for it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So when people come in, they have this, they're overwhelmed, and then they're gung-ho because they have this outline and they're super ready to write about it, and they have all the content, it's swirling around in their heads, and then their first writer's block happens. And they're staring at this piece of paper and they want to write and they don't know what to say. And so we work through those mental blocks, and then the imposter syndrome comes next, right? There's no avoiding that feeling of, who am I to say this? Who's going to read my book? I have no right. It's so overwhelming, and it can stop you from publishing.
It can stop you in your tracks. I heard something and it resonated so deeply. When you're bumping up against imposter syndrome, it means you're growing, which really resonated. So I think that's true, especially for this process, because I think when we show up to write a book, it's really, we're entering a portal, and we won't come out the same person that we entered in as. And so there's opportunities for so much transformation and growth, don't you think?
Absolutely. Like I said, when in my first sci-fi book, I was using it as a tool to overcome depression. And yes, my genre is my niche is a little bit different with entrepreneurs, but they still pour a piece of themselves into that book. They're still using their own stories and their own transformations. And quite often, when you take a module of your work, and you might think you know that module inside and out, you've been going through it over and over and again, but then when you sit down to write it, and you might bump up against topics where you have to do a little research, you're going to know that topic even better than you did before. And quite often people will write their book and then change their modules because of what they found from their book.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's quite powerful. You'll go in with a really great program and you'll come out with one that's better.
It's all the dominoes that really just, you start through this process, and then it's like, oh, you bump up against this and you get grow through it, and it like expands over here in your business or over here in your relationships or wherever it's wanting to grow through. And I think there's so much potential in publishing and using this as a vehicle for transformation, which I think is the underbelly of this book, because of the contributors who are coming in have a bigger vision for what it's like. You said at the beginning, when you were like, I want more people need to experience this. There is this vision. So what would you say is a vision you have for the world that really carries through the work that you do?
It's such a good question, because
it's a big one.
I have two visions. I have the creative writing and therapeutic writing is one of my big visions. I believe every person can benefit from writing, either creatively or about their life or about their sandwich or whatever it might be. Just writing it down is so therapeutic and allows you to process so much more than you would normally. Yeah. And then my vision for the business world is, I think people have, and entrepreneurs have, these incredible programs that they are launching and hosting and, seeing extreme success from, but their audience is limited and they're not getting the reach that they want. And quite often with coaches in particular, we get into this field because we want to help. And we will price ourselves lower because we want to help more. And then it's this struggle of like, well, I'm not charging enough to live, but I want to serve more. And this book is the perfect low-cost medium to reach more people. And then it also reaches those people that are willing to pay high ticket. And so my vision for the business world is to get people to know their value, spread their message to those that need it, and get what they want out of their business.
Yeah, It's incredible because I think, for one thing, we're so in this wheel of social media, like the hamster wheel. And this is a way of like pulling you out of that noise and saying, let me leave a legacy in
Mhm.
this time-tested industry, and a thing that people still value so much. People value, so many people say they want to write a book, right?
Mhm.
And not that many people actually accomplish it. So you're achieving something and you're helping yourself really distinguish yourself from different people who are doing it. And people really value authors. It's a massive, and you're sharing your message. To me, it's like our way of influencing a culture.
It is totally. And it's underutilized. I'm going to speak so much about the business world because that's my niche, but it's
Yeah,
underutilized in the business
think
world.
about
And
it.
it's
Preach.
yeah, and it's underappreciated because, like you said, the moment I became an author, I was getting podcast interviews, I was getting news articles, I was getting, reviews. I had this huge author platform all of a sudden on the internet to stand up, and that was sci-fi. That
Yes.
wasn't
Wow.
business. So
Yes.
taking that power and turning it into your business. If you're trying to get on podcasts and nobody is biting, become an author. If you want to get on TV, become an author. Like it's
Right.
just
Yes, it's
they
true.
they don't even have to read your book to assign you credibility
That's right.
because you're
Yep.
an author. It's impressive.
Yes. And when you're talking to people about the outcomes and the things that you can help them accomplish, when you say, and I'm an author and I'm published, it automatically like raises your authority. People
Yeah.
just trust you. So it's such a beautiful like opportunity to like up level without, I feel like, treading on a lot of the things that everyone else is doing. Like stand
Yeah.
out, do something big, do something bold. And it sounds like Larissa is going to help you do it really fast. So such a great
Really fast and really well.
and really well, really
Yeah.
fast and really well. And she's done it, and she's going to partner with you, and she knows those things that are going to, potential pitfalls or things that you're going to bump up against. And she has the tools to help you move through it with ease and joy, because this is an experience. I think that's the other thing that is so important and valuable. This is an experience. It's not just having the book, but it's actually going through the process. It's valuable. And yeah, there's so many opportunities. I could talk about it all day. So what is, there's still a lot of misconceptions about publishing, right? There's still things that people kind of have an idea of or kind of assume. Is there something that you wish everyone would know before they worked with you? Or if there's something like, please just know this, is there something like that you would like to share?
Yeah, I think it doesn't. You talked about it earlier that it's a lonely road, and it is. When I wrote my first science fiction book, I cried myself to sleep. I had no
Mhm.
idea what I was doing. I shelled out way too much money to, a vanity publisher on things that I had somebody told me I could have done myself.
Mm.
And it just, you're not alone. And I think that's the point of this whole book, is that there are resources out there that aren't here to just take your money.
Yes,
They
there.
want to
We want
invest.
to support you, and
Yeah.
we are a rising tide. We want to raise the consciousness about what's available and really set a tone for how we're maneuvering through this industry. It's an incredible common theme that I'm talking to each contributor, and like the depths of their intention to help people share more of themselves through writing and books is just incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is there, I mean, you probably haven't started writing your chapter yet, so I don't mean to put you on the spot, but is there a North Star that you hope to kind of, I mean, maybe it's similar to, what you hope everyone would know, but is there a North Star that you want to communicate through your chapter, kind of something that you hope people walk away with?
My chapter really is geared towards, again, the entrepreneur side of things and showing the more business side of the publishing world and what a book can do for your business. And so part of it's going to be shedding light on all the benefits of becoming an author, some of the things we just talked about, and then some, and what it can do for a coach's business and how it can, entitle you to asking for more money because of this book. And then the second part is really attacking the whole authorship journey as a 4-stage process. You've got writing, editing, marketing, and publishing, and they go in that order. And I think that's the really important part, is the marketing comes before the publishing. And so I want to hit on that for people that are on this journey, that if you want your book to be successful and you want the results that we're promising, you got to market, and you got to market early and a lot. And I want to drive that home to every author, that there are 4 steps.
And partnering with someone like Larissa is going to make it so much easier. Like, I don't try to fix my car because I don't know what I'm doing. I think there's also a myth that it's easy to publish a book, which, you know what, technically you can figure it out. You can do it on your own, but it might be lonely. You're probably going to mess up a lot and miss a lot of steps. It's going to feel tedious. It's going to take longer than it needs to. And writing a book is an investment of your energy, of your time, of your resources. And so get out in front of it with a smart strategy. Have someone guiding you through who knows the things that you're going to coming through is so valuable. It's going to pay dividends in, like, not just in the experience of writing and publishing, but also in the outcome that you're going to be able to achieve, because there's things that Larissa understands about using a book in your business that you probably haven't even considered.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people expect to make big money off of their book. Like, you hear author, oh my God, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
No. But when you're using it for your business, there is serious return on investment built
You
into
will. It's not through royalties, but there is definitely opportunities to get a return on your investment. And that's, I'm sure, what you come in and really work them through, and thinking about that ahead of time, right? Like, what is it that you want to accomplish with this book? I mean, it's such an important piece. And I love that you have this 4-prong approach and that you guide people through it from start to finish. It's amazing. And so, what is there anything that you have coming up that you want to invite people to? I'm going to make sure to link your info in the header here so people can connect with you. But is there anything, or is it just, hey, reach out to Larissa if you have this idea of writing a book, and 2023 is right around the corner, and get started on it?
Yeah, definitely. So I have a promotion, for end of year promotion. I want to bring in as many people as I can before my prices essentially go up in the new year. So I am offering, it's a $900 discount off of my program if you are to fill one of the slots for the end of the year. And there are only so many. I can only read so many books at one time.
That's right.
There's only so many. So I would love to hear from people. I'll give you the link. You can book in for your free discovery call. And if nothing comes out of it, at very least, you get 30 minutes of understanding how a book can help you in your business.
Amazing. Connect with it. So there's opportunities to maybe start working on it right now, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a few spots, not too many, but opened up. And then once we get into the later half of December, those will close down for a couple of weeks. I won't be taking any new clients, and then prices jump up in January. So.
Okay, well, take advantage of this awesome opportunity. And if it's like, it's always been like, oh, I've always wanted to write a book, or I see the value, or I'm sick of being on this hamster wheel and being in what I call the online sea of sameness, really take the opportunity to stand out, to become, legitimize yourself through publishing. And Larissa's here to walk you through the process. If you're in the world of writing, publishing, promoting, packaging, designing books, and you think this is a great network to join in on, we are still accepting contributors through the end of November. And we really want this to be a well-rounded book. We want all the different angles to be represented. We want people to understand all the potential in this network. We want the network to be full, because that's how it becomes so powerful, when all these different people are, all these different industries are represented, because then it's like, hey, I need a PR person. I know who I'm going to. Hey, I need a illustrator. I know the perfect person to send you to. So if that sounds interesting, please reach out. I'll make sure to put the link with details in the comments. I would love to have a conversation and just see if this is the right opportunity. If you are someone who knows that people are, a lot of people are an extension, a lot of entrepreneurs are their work is an extension of them. And it's important for you to take that whole person, that whole view approach when you're guiding them through. Then you're going to find a lot of like-hearted friends in this container. Let's put it that way. So join in, connect with Larissa before the end of the year to take advantage of this awesome opportunity and get started. I mean, it's November. You could probably be like well in your way at the beginning of 2023, launching out. And I think one other thing I want to kind of circle around to is a book is a really, really great centerpiece in your marketing strategy. And so if you write a book, then all of a sudden 2023 marketing is pretty much planned for you. You can keep going back to that book and utilizing it in all of these different ways, which I know Larissa is going to kind of guide you through and point out. So, so connect with her, reach out to me if you're interested in participating in this book. And that's all for me. We are going to continue to hold author interviews, shining a light on what's available, what's possible, and these amazing women who are doing this work. It just lights me up. I'm so excited to be able to do this. Thank you, Larissa. It's so great to have you here. And to everyone else, I hope you all are having a wonderful Tuesday, and we will talk to you soon.